Team Conrad girlies, we have won the war. If you haven't watched it, save this video and come back to it. For those of you who have, this is going to be our official debrief of episode 8, season 3 of The Summer Turned Pretty. Grab your bevy, we have lots to get into. Started this episode, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it because we were getting into the same fight that we had just finished. But then we got to the point where Conrad delivers the line that I'm not going to pretend anymore, and I felt settled. Do a great job of showing the wanting and the yearning and the build up. But what we haven't seen is what does it look like for them to actually have this? What does it look like for them to be successful in this? What does it look like when they stop playing games with each other and they stop lying to themselves? And how does that shift everything for Belly and Conrad? But before we kind of stepped into this, I loved that they set up the metaphor of Belly's past being fully open now. Because if you watch the scene whenever she's coming out of her bedroom, we don't typically frame anything center, always done intentionally. And so when we're looking at that scene in her bedroom, her closet door is wide open, the bed is framed center, and she's walking into her future. But we're very much seeing that her past is fully open, that there is nothing to hide in that closet anymore because it is all there for us to see. And then, of course, after Belly's conversation with Conrad, she comes back and essentially goes back into her past. She pulls out Junior Men. And I love the subtlety of that, but also that if maybe you didn't catch it the first time, they fully drew your attention to it. There are a few scenes specifically that I want to call attention to, but I'll do a deeper video on those. But I really love the conversation between Taylor and Conrad for a few reasons. I feel like Taylor's had quite a bit of character growth this season. And I was talking about her with a friend the other night and how in reality, it's not that Taylor needs to grow up. It's that Taylor needs the space to heal. Taylor really proved in this conversation and the one that she later has with Belly that she is very much Team Belly. She recognizes what's going on with her best friend, and she just wants the best for her, even if it means having these uncomfortable conversations. Whether or not that's with somebody that she knows Belly really loves, but isn't in the right position for her. Obviously, they don't know she doesn't know the conversation they just had in the kitchen that I think is kind of the bigger shift. But she's very much aware that the way that they're dancing around each other, the way that they're not really honest with each other, that it's not going to work for them. Now, of course, we have been waiting for the letter scene, but what I loved even more than that was the fact that Conrad didn't tell Steven about Jeremiah cheating. Even in the midst of it, he was still very much loyal to Jeremiah. I definitely had a moment where I was like, do you think they served lobster rolls at this dinner to make sure that nobody at this table would have knives? Now, my side notes for this episode would be, we had some excellent music choices. I don't know why they chose that for Taylor's hair as a bridesmaid, but thank God Belly isn't getting married because her dress rehearsal dress and her wedding dress were way too similar. I wasn't expecting us to do the wedding and the letter in the same episode, so I'm really curious to see what happens next with it. I do have some really specific thoughts on their breakup scene, and I'm going to do a separate video on that, and then maybe I'll come back for that last Belly and Conrad scene before she sees him in the airport. All in all, it was a good week. We got Taylor Swift engaged yesterday, Sabrina Carpenter's coming out in the next 48 hours, and we got what felt like closure and TSITP